Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is part 2 of the pipe anvil fabrication. I made a mistake in yesterday's video at about the part 1. At about the 19-minute 5-second mark, I said hold your angle grinder perpendicular to the pipe. Wrong. It's supposed to be vertical to the pipe. There's no reason to put the pipe in the vise at an angle if you're going to cut it perpendicular. So my mistake. Anyway, this is the leg that we coped yesterday. We did the other end to fit the larger diameter pipe, and if you recall, we set that in the vise at 30 degrees, held the grinder vertical to the cut line and coped it, and then we had a good fit up on the larger diameter pipe. Well, today I've got to make the base for the leg, and I cut that. It's about half again as wide as the entire width of the pipe anvil itself, but I use the same diameter pipe as the leg. So when you do that, that calls for you to steepen the angle from 30 degrees to 45 degrees. I've got my little speed square here, and I've eyeballed this from the pivot point, just eyeballed putting this in the vise at 45 degree angle. Then again, held the grinder vertical and cut the cope line. And the reason why you do that, since is because both pipes are the same diameter. If you cut this one at 30 degrees, then it would be, don't know if you can see that in frame or not. Yeah, then it would be wider than this diameter. Wouldn't work. Ask me how I know. That's the fun of fabricating using your scrap material. If you make a mistake, oh well. It's scrap material. So here's the foot or the base that the leg is going to weld to. And we've got a real good fit. Comes down, about a third of the way of the pipe diameter on both sides. Nice tight gap here for welding. So what I'll do is I'll get a couple of magnetic angle magnets, put this all together. We'll tack weld it together. I'm not going to finish welding it. I'm going to get it all tacked together, both legs, and then we'll fit it on the anvil, and then we'll do all the production welding after that. Okay, I've got the second leg all laid out for the copes. This is the end that's going to attach to the base, forming a T. And I see I've got it laid out at 45 degrees. Then you rotate this 90 degrees, and then on the opposite end, I've got that laid out for a 30 degree cope to match up with the larger diameter pipe on the pipe anvil. Also, what you should probably get in the habit of doing, it's just a recommendation from me, what I do anyway, since this is all galvanized, I got to grind most of that galvanizing off, for welding, which means I'm going to lose my layout lines. So what I do, I don't know if you can see it or not, right there. Let me zoom in, see if this thing will focus. Probably not. Come on. There we go. See that? That's a center punch. I center punch all my center lines, so when I grind the galvanizing off, I don't lose my orientation. I'll still be able to find my centers once I grind all the galvanizing off. I did the same thing on these little T bases here, where this cope here will match up to this pipe here. See, I've got to sand or grind off all that galvanizing. So I have, again, come on, rotate. Again, I have done a little center punch. So those marks will line up when I fit this together and get the magnets on it to hold it square and plumb and all that good stuff. And then I'll tack weld it all together, and everything should be pretty close to alignment. By the way, if you are in the market for some good locking pliers, I recommend Tecton. They're not sponsoring my channel or anything. This is just stuff I use and have had good service with. They're based in Michigan. They're a family-owned company. They try to source made in USA where possible. Where they can't, they will import from Taiwan. And I will tell you from first-hand experience, the stuff coming out of Taiwan is far superior in quality to the stuff coming out of China. So I've got a pair of straight jaw locking pliers here, and then a pair of curved for clamping pipe. You can buy these direct at the Tecton website. They're only about 11 or 12 bucks each. Our local Cal Ranch store happens to carry the Tecton line, so I buy them there. The curved jaw or pipe jaw locking pliers. Let's see. That ain't gonna work. Love this camera. Let's see if I can zero in on a part number here. Come on. There. The curved jaw or pipe locking pliers, part number PLK20010. The part number for the straight jaw locking pliers, focus, come on. PLK00010. These have been very good. Their fit and finish is excellent. I like the knurled knobs they put on the end, and they're drilled, so you can put a round bar in there to crank down on these if you have to. Here is an old pair of Craftsman's that I bought 30 or 40 years ago. Made in USA. Good quality, but I don't think they're as good as these Tectons. One thing I like about the Tecton is when you go to release them, you just flip this lever instead of, you know, the old standard locking pliers here you get in the US. You have to reach inside, push on the lever, wind up pinching your fingers and uttering all kinds of obscenities in the process. These Craftsman's work the same. Other locking pliers. Now here's the people that's a trade name that coined the phrase vice grips, and this is an actual vice grip, and these are ancient, as you can see, well abused, but when you go to release these pliers, you have to reach in there and push with your fingers to release it, and this is where, right between this lever and this lever is where you pinch your skin every time. So, yeah, they've evolved quite a bit over time. I really enjoy the Tecton brand. They're not expensive, they're good quality, and I've had good luck with them. Okay, the legs are now all coped and ground, ready for tack welding. Just a note, remember, you know, when you're coping and all of that, these are rough cuts. You're going to have to do a little grooming to get things to fit up right. But that's just part of the gig. So anyway, I'm going to get these fit up in the vise and get them tacked. And then we'll be ready to fit them on the pipe anvil. Okay, let's get these things tacked up. Let's try that again. My camera went off the rails there for a second. Not sure what the heck's going on. I suppose if I put my welding gloves on instead of the work gloves, I wouldn't get so many hot BBs on my bare arms. There we go. We're tacked up. Well, this is where your center punches come in handy, because after you grind off all your marks, you know, getting it galvanized off, you can still see where you're lined up. So I have center point here on the main pipe, center point on the upright. So let's get this tacked on now. Well, I didn't like that. Pardon me. Oh, come on now. All right. One step closer. Okay, I got one side tacked on. I got the other one in place with a magnet. Let's check some measurements. See what we're up against. Going around the wrong way here. Okay, we are 28 and 5/8. (28 and 5/8). (36 and a half), which is a little shorter than what I initially measured, but I had to do a little pruning on my copes, so I lost a little bit in height. That's my mistake. I should have probably cut these uprights a little longer. 36 and a half, right on the money. Probably should have cut these uprights just a little longer to allow for having to groom these cope cuts in the pipes, but that's okay. I'll live with 36 and a half. That's still plenty tall enough for me. Be too short for a guy taller than I am, but hey, that's the way it goes. Just for grins and giggles. What am I here? 2 7/8. 2 7/8. Now, mind you, my welding table isn't the flattest thing in the world, but it's close enough. That's 2 3/4. 2 3/4, so I'm off 1/8 of an inch. My goodness. Just remember, a 16th is a thousandth to a sheet metal worker. At least that's what we used to say in the shipyard, you know, because machinists were always giving us a bad time about our tolerances, you know, and all that good stuff. And so we used to quip, well, hey, we're within tolerance. 16th is a thousandth to a sheet metal worker. And our fit up always worked. Let me tack up this other end. I'm doing the MIG gun dance here. I'm violating my own rule. I'm getting a little too much clutter where I'm working, and instead of taking a couple of minutes and clearing the clutter, I'm dancing around stuff. Okay. Oh well. Right. So, I'm not going to bore you guys with welding all this up. And besides that, my battery is blinking at me, so I'm going to have to turn this into a 3-parter. I'll share with you in the next segment what I'm going to do to make this a little different than Fitzy Fabrication's pipe anvil. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.